Hey guys, what's up? It is Danlags, and today we're going to be doing a video on basic tips for terraforming in Minecraft. And obviously we're on the console, so we don't have any world edit. We're doing this all by hand. So guys, terraforming is a great skill to have if you want to morph the environment on your worlds to fit around your builds. As you guys know, on CLD I've done a ton of terraforming to Los Angeles and on that seed. It makes the seed look pretty much unrecognizable from the initial spawn for all the stuff that I've changed the environment. So it's a great way to kind of mold the environment around your builds, and that's why we're doing this video today. So the goal for terraforming really is to improve the environment and kind of make it so it looks as natural as possible. So you want it to basically look like it's spawned like that, in other words. So that's kind of our goal. And I'm going to be giving you guys 3 tips, basic tips for this video. I'm going to do a gradual hill, a little bit of a steeper hill, and then I'm going to show you guys how to terraform a pond. So those are going to be the 3 things I'm going to cover on this video. Again, basic tips. And I'm probably going to do another video in the future on advanced tips, maybe like a steeper hill, kind of like a mountainside, and also maybe a waterfall. So those are some other ideas I'll have for maybe an advanced tips video. But we're going to start off with the basics today, guys. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so we're going to start off with the gradual incline or the gradual hill. So I'm going to start off by giving you guys some examples of some how not to terraform, and then we'll kind of get into what you want to do. So the first example is never do a flat wall like this with no incline or anything like that, just like a 90-degree wall. This is absolutely not something you want to do. If you have like a house built up on a hill and it's kind of like floating, this is not the way to fill it in. This is just going to look very unnatural and silly. So that's the first thing you definitely want to avoid. And then moving over here, this is a little bit better, but it still looks very unnatural. Again, it is kind of like a gradual incline, which is what you want, but it's way too symmetrical and even, and that still looks very unnatural, and it doesn't look like an actual seed. That looks very man-made, and it's obvious that it was terraformed. So the goal is to make it look very good, but not make it obvious that it was terraformed. So I'm going to show you guys what we're going to be doing. So right over here is what you want, and this is kind of like something relatively similar to that, but I've made it much more random. And I've added some grass to it and just kind of randomized the design, so it's still got a nice little incline to it, but it looks very natural. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. So basically I'm doing kind of like a 10 by 5 kind of thing. So I'm going to start off by placing, I'm going to move over here. I'm going to start off by placing like 4 blocks of grass, and then maybe like 3 blocks, and then another 3. And this is again going to be kind of like an open-ended tutorial, so you don't have to build it exactly the way I'm building it. I'm just kind of giving you guys the basic tips. So when you start off with the first layer, your goal is basically just kind of go layer by layer upward until you get to a point where you can just close off the top. So you want it to be really randomized and not like following the same pattern on each level. So basically you want to mix it up from level to level, and as you can see, guys, what I've been doing is kind of like I did a little bit of an overlap there, but not here. Did a little bit of an overlap here, but not there. So you kind of want to mix it up and make it very random. So that's kind of the goal of this. All right, so you want to maybe take it across 4 here, so it overlaps here, and then you can, I don't know, push it back even 2 blocks, right? And you could have this fill in, make it a little bit more gradual, have it come back over to there. So really, it's up to you guys as what you want to do. You just want to make sure that you have it very wavy and unpredictable, and that's what's going to make it look like a very natural looking environment and a natural looking seed. So I'm just going to do 5 layers for now. So let's see, let me go ahead and break that and place that there, and maybe I'll even do something like that so it's going over a little bit. So that's right there as a 10 by 5 kind of gradual, so something similar to that right there. And then what you want to do on the bottom, guys, is you want to make it very gradual and much more of a natural incline. So you might want to take it out a little bit more here on the bottom layer. So it's kind of like it starts off kind of very gradual, gets a little bit steeper, and then it gets a little bit more gradual at the top. So up here as well, you can kind of just add a little bit more grass here. And this is just going to help you kind of like plateau this thing off at the top and then keep it very flat on the bottom as well. So that's kind of what you're going for, right? And then what you can do is you can even extend this out a few here on the second level, just so it's a very, very gradual. And then you can just come in and just put a little bit of bone meal down, because you can never hurt to have a little bit of natural bone meal. And then if you want to add even more, you can just throw in what I did and just add a few birch trees here. So you can plant 1 or 2 of these, and that's going to add a nice little effect to the environment. So plant a couple of those, and there you go, guys. That's kind of like my little gradual incline tip. So that is looking great. Okay, guys, so I took a second to extend it out a little bit, and just wanted to give you guys a general idea of what this can look like when you really start to add a lot of it. So you can kind of just take this along, like let's say you build a house like kind of on an incline, and you're on a hill, and maybe there's like a little bit of space here that's like kind of going off the edge. you can come in and bring something in like this and really close off that space. Looks very natural. That doesn't look like it's man-made at all, right? Looks very very common, like it was just spawned in on a brand new seed. So there you go, guys. That is our gradual incline, gradual hill design. So we're going to move on to a little bit of a steeper hill right now. All right, guys. So for the steeper hill, we're doing something a little bit taller. And this is going to be kind of like a mountainside. Maybe not quite a mountain, but a steeper hill than the one we just did. So right here is what you don't want to do. Again, basically what I did here was just add some stone, kind of like a bedrock level. And then right up here we have some dirt. So, you know, just kind of randomize the dirt. That is absolutely something that you want to do. But as far as just having it very flat like this, that's going to look really bad if you have this in bulk. So that's a no-no. And right here, just kind of the same idea with the other one. Again, getting a little bit better. It's a little bit more gradual now, but again, it's way too symmetrical, and it looks way too man-made. So we're getting pretty much the same exact idea as the gradual hill. So what you want to do for the steep hill is, this is my example right here. Again, it's very randomized, very uneven, and I even added some little bushes in there just to kind of add a little bit more greenery to it. So that's our steep hill idea, guys. So let's go ahead and demonstrate this right now. Oh, look, an NPC village off in the distance. All right, anyway, so let's, so basically what I want to do, guys, is just kind of take some stone and kind of just like run it through, and let's see how many we need. So we got 1 2 3 4, that's 7, so let's go 8 9. We'll just do that. All right, that's fine. And what you want to do is you want to take up a few levels of stone, and then once you get to like the 3rd level or so, you want to try to start randomizing it a little bit, and you know, not make it exactly like flat, kind of like that. And then what you want to do is just kind of come in with a layer of dirt kind of on top of this, and just kind of fill this in, and just kind of get it up to a point where the dirt is flat. And then on above that, you want to add some grass, right? So kind of just get this filled in here. And that's kind of like the first layer, right? And then what you can do, you can come in as well and just kind of, you know, mix it up a little bit if you want. Like so, this doesn't have to be all at the same height, something like that. And you can even do the same thing over here. Just kind of go like that. So that's the start, and we're going to do 2 levels of this. So then the next thing you want to do is kind of come in with some stone behind that. And just kind of do the same thing we did. Just kind of add maybe 2 3 layers of randomized stone. Just kind of rinse and repeat that process and fill it in. So that's going to be our steep hill idea, guys. And then we're going to come in and just kind of do a little bit of a modification to it once we have this general idea in place. So something like that, right? Maybe even just a little bit more right there. And then what you can do is just come in again with the dirt. Just kind of fill this in. And this is just going to be kind of like at random layers. So like this. You can come through and just kind of fill this in all around like that. So there we go, guys. That's kind of like the general idea of what you want to do. And then we're going to add some detail to this. So you can put a little bit of bone meal on the grass if you want. Again, can't hurt. But then up here, you want to start to make it a little bit more gradual, kind of like that plateau effect that we had on the other side. So you just want to come in and just kind of add an extra layer of grass through here. And just kind of have it run through. Again, make sure you're using the same concept we had before. Kind of just randomizing this. You don't want it to be kind of like on a flat plane. That's basically the #1 thing you want to avoid, just having things look symmetrical, because it just doesn't spawn like that on a normal Minecraft seed. That's just not how it generates. So that's kind of the idea. And when you're picking up tips on how to terraform, guys, honestly, just kind of take a look at the environment of the game, and you can really get some nice ideas from it. So that's kind of how I learned how to do this. Just kind of observing like a normal seed, like what it looks like when it originally loads in, and then just kind of copying that exact design into something that I've created. So that's really like the tip I can give for this. So you can kind of fill this in a little bit like that, and kind of get this all a little bit more gradual on the bottom, something like that. And then of course you can come in with some bone meal if you need to, even on the top up here. And then the last thing you can do is just kind of come in and just add some oak leaves, or any kind of leaves really, just kind of draped along the side of the mountain. Adds a little bit of color to the place. Not necessary. Again, it's not quite natural because it doesn't normally spawn like that, but that's just another man-made touch you can do to it just to make it look a little bit more fancy. So that is our gradual incline, guys, our gradual hill. So that's looking great. All right, guys, so just like the other one, I went ahead and extended this out a little bit to get you even a bigger scope of what this looks like in bulk. As you can see, you can really you know, create something that looks really nice and steep cliff. And again, if you have a house kind of up on a hill or any kind of building, you can add something like this along the side, and it's going to create a really nice terraform around that particular build. So there is my tip for a steeper incline, guys, a more steeper hill. And now we're going to move on to the last tip for today's video, and that is going to be a pond. Okay, guys, so we have a nice space here to build a pond. So adding water around builds, you know, putting a pond near a house or something like that, or near a park, is a great way to terraform, and it's going to add a lot of color to your world. So I'm going to demonstrate just building a small pond with a little bit of landscaping around it for the conclusion of today's episode. So I'll start off with just kind of the perimeter of the pond, and then I'm going to cut the video and dig it out. So we'll just start with like a perimeter, and basically all you want to do is just, again, you have to continue that kind of randomized design, very open-ended, just kind of run through, and you really can't have anything wrong as long as you don't make it like a square or anything symmetrical. The goal is just to go crazy and just randomize it. So it's pretty easy. You just kind of run through and just go around and connect it to the other side. So as you can see, I created something that you know, is pretty random, kind of like a sideways oval or something like that. So again, there's no real right or wrong answer to that. And then what you want to do is really just kind of you know, obviously break this all out, and it'll help if you have like a modded controller or something like that, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of, you know, get rid of all the dirt. And then you want to dig in layers. So like that's kind of the goal when you're building a pond, is to have layers to it. You want it to be deeper in the middle, obviously, and more shallow on the sides. And the goal for a pond is to add a lot of different blocks. Instead of just putting like, you know, just filling it in with water and being done with it, you want to add some nice blocks on the outside, like randomize some dirt and some sand and things like that. And it's going to really make it stand out. Again, it's not going to look like it was naturally spawned or anything like that, but that's not really the goal for this particular part of the terraform. When you're building a pond, you want it to kind of stand out and look, you know, like it had like a lot of detail went into it. So basically, what you want to do is you want to come in a few blocks from the outer ring and really just kind of break into the ground again. And you just want to create like, you know, just a gradual, I guess, depth to the pond. So as you get towards the middle, it gets deeper, and that's what we're gonna do. And then we'll just fill in the water, and then we can add some nice designs to the outside. So we'll do one more layer deep here. So we'll take this down just to here. So we'll get this all filled in. All right, so there we go. That's pretty good. So there we got 3 layers of that pond. As you can see, we have just kind of like a crater in the earth right now. But now what you can do, let me just fill that in. That's gonna bug me. Now what you can do is just kind of start from the middle when you're coming in with the water. And now the great thing about water in Minecraft is that on Xbox it used to be very annoying trying to fill things in with water. But now that they've made it so water is much easier to fill in with buckets, you can kind of start from the middle and just kind of fill it in. So you don't have to worry about like putting the water in and then digging out the pond deeper. That's what you used to have to do on Xbox, but they patched that, so now it's much easier. You can dig out the whole pond before you even have to add the water. So just like that, we have a little bit of water filled in here. So obviously, just like that, that looks pretty natural, right? You know, if I just kind of flew by this, maybe if I added a little bit of sand, if I just flew right by that, I wouldn't even realize that that was, you know, a man-made pond right there. But we wanted to make it pop out, and we wanted to make it you know, stand out from the rest of the ponds in the, you know, the naturally spawning ponds. So I'm gonna grab a bunch of different blocks, and again, this is a design that might work in, you know, this, well, obviously gonna work in the default texture pack. It might not work in other texture packs, just to let that be known. So just letting you know, this, obviously we're doing this in the default, but you know, these designs and these ideas work for any texture pack. You know, it's just the philosophy of it that you need to kind of keep in mind. So with all that being said, what I want to do really is, oh, I'll grab some sand as well. So what you want to do is just, you want to kind of just like come in and just add like little bitty patches of sand kind of going around the pond. Again, not around the entire perimeter, because then it's going to look a little bit weird, but just kind of come in and add little patches of sand from here and there. And you want to just kind of, you know, have this kind of all over the place, and maybe I'll do like 3 patches, like 1 on each side there. That's pretty good. So we have a little bit of sand like that. And then what you can do is also you can add some black stained clay and kind of have this run around as well on the outside. So you can kind of, you know, do, again, random patches of this. Like, don't have this all over the place, but you can come through and add this in random spots. So maybe we'll do one right here, and then we'll do another one on this side as well. So I'll do 2 of these just for the sake of the tutorial and for the sake of time. So there we go. We have a couple of little patches of sand, and we have a couple of patches of black stained clay. So what you want to do is you can also randomize this and just add a little bit of gray stained clay in here to kind of mix up the colors, which is always a good thing to do. So something like that. And then you can also come in with some dirt, and I would recommend keeping the dirt closer to the water because you don't want it to touch the grass. So maybe I'll do no, that's not right. Do that, and maybe I'll put one here, and then I can actually just kind of extend this around, because again, when dirt touches grass, it turns back into grass, and that's not what you want. You want it to be dirt. All right, and then same thing comes over here. So I can maybe place it 1 dirt there, 1 dirt right there, and then 1 dirt there. And then what you can do is you can choose from your choice of hoeing the, or I guess tilling the soil, basically. and placing some seeds, and then you can also place some roses if you want to, like right here, and even I'll place another rose right there, and then you can of course bone meal the wheat just like that. And then what you want to do is just kind of add some random, let me clear my inventory, you can add some random jungle leaves and some random spruce leaves, just kind of mix it up in this bed, and you're going to have like these nice little beds of soil and nice grassy designs around the pond, which is going to add a lot of color, make it really is a good way to accentuate the color of the water. So real quick guys, I'm just going to sleep and we'll resume. Alright guys, I am back. Forgot to turn off the daylight cycle, but I went ahead and took that time to plant a few tall trees here. So we're going to kind of work off of these trees, just place them randomly around the pond, just 3 of them, and we'll work off those in just a second. But to kind of conclude this random idea is to add some lily pads, you know, just kind of like put these around randomly assorted inside the pond. You know, you can even make a little like parkour course if you want to. That's always fun. And then you can also add some sugarcane. I'd recommend making them taller than normal, so maybe like 5 or 6 blocks tall even. I'm pretty sure they grow up to 3 normally, so, or maybe 4. Could be wrong about that, but you want to make them taller than normal because it looks pretty good. Maybe not quite that tall. So yeah, just kind of like add some sugarcane, add some lily pads. It's going to add a nice detail to this place. And then of course about these trees is what you can do. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab some vines, and I'm going to grab some extra oak leaf blocks, and to kind of make these trees look a little bit more, you know, I guess affected by the water. You can make them a little bit overgrown maybe, and just kind of drape some more leaves down from the regular design of the tree. Again, these are just naturally planted trees, but you can come in and just kind of take some more leaves down just to kind of make it look a little bit more, I guess like droopy, I guess, more or less. I don't really know what the word would be, but kind of just run this through. Just kind of around each one of the branches and just kind of add a little bit of this. So that's what we're doing right now. And then we can also add some vines as well, so like some real vines. So we'll do those in just a second. Just kind of get this randomized. Again, very random, very open-ended. There's no right or wrong way to do that, but just doing something like that really, as you can see, adds a nice little natural feel. And then what you can come in and do is you can add some vines, some assorted vines on this tree as well. And once you wait for those to grow, it's going to look really good, and you know, they're going to kind of drape over the water, and that's going to look nice. So again, you can just add these all over the tree. This tree turned out really, really spectacular, which was nice. I was lucky to get some good trees. And when you come to planting tall trees, I'm sure most of you guys know how to do that already, so I'm not really going to go into it. But you know, you just place the sapling, and then just put a glass block, you know, over and above it. So you know, it plants when you do a deep bone meal, it'll grow tall. So guys, that's basically my little design here for the pond. So the last thing you can do for a pond, this is completely optional, but you can add a little bit of a ring around it with some grass. Like, so for example, I could extend this out with this grass and kind of run this around the pond, just so you know the pond is not exactly on ground level, more or less. So, or that's not really a good way to explain it. Like the pond is below the ground level, right? So that's kind of the idea. But again, you can do what I'm doing right now, and you can just kind of run some bone meal through, or run some grass through, and then bone meal it, and it, you know, like it never even was there. So that's kind of the last terraforming tip I have for you guys today. So we built a gradual hill, we built a steeper hill, and we built a pond. So this looks really nice, guys. You know, I'm pretty happy with this. Alright guys, so just by adding a pond in this area, you can take a normal flat area like this and turn it into something much, much cooler. So doing terraforming like this, guys, it's just going to add a lot of detail to your worlds and just make your worlds look like you put a lot of effort into them, and even just make them look better in general. So make them look more natural and you know, more environmental, I guess. So guys, it has been Dangeles. Hope you guys did enjoy this first terraforming tutorial video. I will probably come back to you guys with another one of these kind of videos, maybe with a little bit more advanced tips, like we'll do some steeper mountains and a waterfall as well, stuff like that. So maybe even some custom tree designs possibly. That might be pretty cool. So guys, thanks for watching this video. This was highly requested by a lot of people, so hopefully guys, I was able to help you guys with what you were looking for. So guys, it's been Dangeles. Give it a like if you did enjoy this video, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Peace out.